Jordan from Fit Grind, and today we're going to go over some ways that you can level up your training. Maybe your training has become stale or stagnant, you're not making progress. We're going to go over some awesome intensity techniques that you can implement into your own workouts and your own program. They're going to help you kind of kick through some plateaus, make some new progress, and just level up your training. The end of July is coming up soon. Have about a week and a half left to go enter for your chance to win a free pair of men's camo shorts. I'll leave the link in the description, fitgrindapparel.com. Like I said, one lucky winner is getting a free pair of these bad boys. So go check it out, leave the link in the description, pause the video real quick, go sign up for a chance to win a free pair of these bad boys, and then come back and we'll get to the video. All right, so there's gonna be 4 different intensity techniques that we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about the superset, we're gonna talk about the drop set, we're gonna talk about the rest pause set, and we're gonna talk about partial reps. These are 4 awesome ways that you can intensify your workout, that you can add into different portions of your workouts. If you're currently doing these already, stay tuned. Make sure that you stay till the end of the video. I'm gonna give you some awesome supersets that you can do for each muscle group. So like I said, make sure you stay till the end of the video. I'm gonna give you some supersets that you can throw in your training either this week or next. So let's start off with the superset first. Now, supersetting is just saying you're taking one exercise and you're pairing it with another. So for example, classic bench press and pull-up. You're taking a push and you're supersetting it with a pull. So while one muscle group is working, the opposite muscle groups are resting. You go from that bench press, you go back to a pull-up. Now the opposite muscles are working and those bench press muscles are resting. Push-pull is a really good way that you can structure this, but you can also structure it to where you're doing 2 similar muscle groups. So say for example, you're doing a bench press and a push-up. You're doing 2 motions where they're basically the exact same thing, training the exact same muscle group, and you're going to elicit a different growth and you're going to elicit a different stimulus on those muscles than you would normally get from a push and pull superset or just a bench press by itself. So that's one way that I really like to do it. You can do it a lot of different ways. You can superset push-pull, so you can superset antagonist muscle groups, or you can also superset similar muscle groups together and get a really good stimulus out of that. So, intensity technique number 1 is the superset, but I want you to think outside of just push-pull with your supersets. You get super creative. You can do things where you're pairing really similar muscle groups, or maybe you're pairing a core exercise with an exercise that really doesn't need a ton of rest throughout your workout just to be more efficient with it. Intensity technique number 2 that you can level up your training is the drop set. Now, sometimes people get drop set crazy and they do drop sets on every single exercise. Don't do that. So I'm gonna talk about that in a second, how to implement the drop set, where you can implement it, and how often to implement it. So drop set is basically just saying that on your last set of an exercise, whether you're doing 2 sets, 3 sets, 4 sets, 5 sets, 10 sets, however many sets you're doing, the very last set of a certain exercise, you're gonna drop the weight and then continue that exercise to failure. What this does is it allows you to train a little bit past failure, rack up a little bit more volume, again, give yourself a little bit different stimulus, and kind of kick your body to give you a little bit of growth. So, how you're gonna drop it, what I would do is I usually recommend on that last one, depending on the exercise. Now, if it's a little bit more of a compound exercise, you're gonna have to drop a little bit more. If it's more of an isolation exercise, you can drop it a little bit less and get away with it. But general rule of thumb on your drop set, you wanna be between like 60 to 70, maybe 75% of what you just did for your drop set. So say for example, you just did 100 pounds on a certain exercise. You would drop it on your drop set down to about 60, maybe 75 pounds, and then continue your reps to failure. This is a great way, like I said, you can add some intensity in your workout. Now, don't get crazy with this. We don't need to do a drop set on every single exercise of every single workout. Too much failure is a bad thing. We do need to reach failure every once in a while in our training, but we don't want to reach failure every single exercise of every single workout. You will not see progress that you think you're going to see when you do that. Implement these seldomly throughout your workouts. Maybe within a workout, maybe you have 1 to 3 max drop sets. You don't want to drop set on every single exercise. You want to use this sparingly. Keep it in your back pocket as a way that you can kind of throw this at your body to kind of give your body a nudge to make a little bit different growth. So intensity technique number 3 is the rest pause set. Now, this is similar to a drop set. It's going to be on that last set. And what you're going to do is, say you're doing a tricep push down and you're doing 12 reps. You did your 12th rep. This should be about failure. What you're going to do is you're going to step back, take a couple deep breaths. Usually I take about 3 deep breaths. You want to take about 10 to 15 seconds, keep the exact same weight, and then you're going to go back and try and hit as many reps as you can to failure. This is another technique that can take you past muscle failure The goal, usually what I aim for, is try to get half of the reps you've just done. Now, just like the drop set, if it's a compound exercise, you might get a little bit less than half. If it's an isolation exercise, you might get half to maybe a little bit more than half. But my rule of thumb is always take it to failure, and I'm aiming to get at least half of the reps I've done before. So say I did 10 reps and I have a drop set on my last set, I'm gonna come back after 10 to 15 seconds and aim to get at least 5. Now if I can get more, I'm gonna try and get more. If I get less and that was muscle failure, that's okay too, but the goal is to try to get half of those reps. So intensity technique number 3 that you can level up your training is the rest pause set. The fourth way and the final way that you can level up your training is partial reps. So this is another great way that you can take your body a little bit past muscle failure and give your body a little bit of a nudge to keep progressing, keep making progress. So the partial reps, what you're gonna do, say you're doing a leg extension and you're doing 10 reps and you've reached failure on that last set, you can't get any more full reps. You're gonna keep that same weight, you're not gonna rest like a rest pause set, you're not gonna drop the weight like a drop set, you're gonna keep the same exact weight and you're gonna crank out partial reps. Now, this is a great way that you can really focus on, like I said, taking the muscle past failure. Use this sparingly just like the drop set, but this is a way that you can get a little bit more growth out of those muscles. So the way that you're gonna do this, say that you're doing 100 pounds on the leg extension and you've reached failure at your 10th rep, you're gonna keep your form strict. Now that's one big key with partial reps is we don't want to throw a bunch of momentum into those reps. And what we're trying to aim for is start off with half. Try to get halfway up. That's the goal is with your partials, get halfway and then maybe you're starting to hit muscle failure and then turns in just a quarter pulse. But the goal is not to throw a bunch of momentum, especially if you're doing an isolation exercise. We don't want to hit partial reps where we're just throwing a bunch of momentum into those reps. So partial reps are a great way that you can take your muscles past failure, and that's the fourth way that you can level up your training and really stimulate some new growth. So just like I promised in the intro of the video, we're gonna go through each muscle group. I'm gonna give you some awesome supersets, awesome pairing of supersets that are gonna be the same exact muscle group that you can run through that you can add into your program. So let's start off with the chest. I had talked about this one already. Bench press and push-ups. This is a great way that you can pair two exercises that are pretty much similar that's gonna take your body a little bit past failure than if you're just doing bench press by itself or just doing push-pulls. That's a really great, awesome one. Back, we're gonna do a lat pull down. So do an overhand lat pull down. You're gonna shake out your hands, use the same exact weights, flip your grip, and you do reverse grip lat pull down. Again, another awesome superset that you can do that's gonna take your body past failure. Overhand's gonna be a little bit weaker. Once you fatigue and do that first, you'll go to underhand, get the addition of the biceps, and you're gonna be able to move a little bit more weights and be able to crank out another set with that same exact weights. That's another great one that you can do. The shoulders, we're gonna go through a dumbbell press and a dumbbell lateral raise. This is a great superset that's gonna allow you to hit the shoulders and work on the front and the middle of your shoulder at the same time. It's not gonna affect your pressing too much. You'll see a little bit decrease in weight from your pressing, still trying to keep it heavy, but this is a great superset that you can do that's really gonna fry out your shoulders. Biceps, this is a special one. So this is actually a tricep that you can do, and I've actually posted a short of this before. This is the 3 different versions of a curl. This is really curls from hell. So what you're gonna do is you start from the cable and you're gonna do 10 reverse curls. After that, you're gonna flip your grip. You get into shoulder flexion, palms up, and you're gonna do 10 curls and shoulder flexion. Then step forward and you're gonna go into 10 regular cable curls. Now, keep the weight the same the entire set. And what's gonna happen is as those sets go on, and you do multiple sets of this, you might have to implement some partial reps, especially on those last couple reps of your regular curls. But this is a great tricep, 3 exercises that you can do. I'm gonna give you another tricep for your triceps. This is gonna be the push down, the overhand push down, and the overhead extension. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna start off with a reverse grip push down. Shake it out, flip your grip overhand, regular tricep push down, 10 reps, come back over, 10 overhead extensions. This is a really great way that you can really fry out your triceps, just like the tricep that I talked about before. That's gonna save towards the end of the workouts. Really be a good way that you can fry out those triceps. But like I said, I would do some other strength stuff first, save this towards the end of your arm workouts. Moving on to the legs. So one of my favorite supersets that you can do is the squat and the lunge. This is an awesome superset where these are 2 big exercises that are gonna tax the quads. That's really gonna fry yourself out. So pairing a squat and a lunge is a really great superset that's gonna fry out the quads. So for the hamstrings, a really good one that you can do is the Romanian deadlift and the leg curl. But you're gonna start off on the leg curl, and then you're gonna go to the Romanian deadlift after that. So you're gonna shorten those hamstrings. After that, you're gonna lengthen those hamstrings out. With that superset, you're gonna be able to hit all the different muscles of the hamstrings and really fry them up. So those are some supersets you can add into your program this week or next. And then you can also add some of those intensity techniques to level up your training, kick through any plateaus that you might be in right now, and continue to make progress. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos like this. Go sign up at fitguardapparel.com for your chance to win those free men's camo shorts. Like I said, we're gonna pick a winner end of July, early August. So got a couple weeks left, you got nothing to lose. Go click that link in the description, go sign up to win a free pair of those. I'll catch you guys in the next one.